If you thought the last drill was good, you want to hold tight because this one is a belter. Another warm welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I've got the old gadget back out with the 2 loops in. If you haven't seen the first video, I explained this lump of steel, grip on it, use it in the gym, pulling on cables. Got a loop at one end, loop at the other. Last time I spoke about the loop below the grip. Today I want to talk to you about the loop above the grip. Quite simply, get yourself a theraband about 3 or 4 feet in length, and you're going to push it through the loop at one end, tie a knot, then it can't pull through. And then what you're going to do at the other end, you're going to tie a loop, you're going to wrap it around your neck, push it through, and you're then going to get the length of the band to the point where it creates some decent tension on the butt end of the golf club. Now, if you've done this drill, if you haven't seen my previous video, go check that out. But I tied the band to the bottom end. Today, I'm tying it to the top end. A very, very different feel. When you now set up to the golf club and you don't feel any weight on the bottom end of the golf club, all of a sudden, the senses that go on through the grip are super heightened. So when you start to take the golf club away, you really start to feel the easy for me to say, vulnerability of where the club head could travel. So as I'm moving this back in, I'm now very aware that the pad of my left hand is going to try to keep the tip end propped up. But this is when the band starts to now really come into its own. When we start to move the golf club up to the top, what you'll feel is how the butt end goes really light because there's no weight on the head end. I want to say a big thanks to my channel sponsor, GX Golf Gloves. If you're tired of paying too much for premium leather golf gloves, I can't encourage you enough to go over and check out the chaps at gxgolfgloves.com. These gloves are trusted by elite players and tour players alike. Use the code GOODCOACHING and you will receive 10% off your next order. They are a golf glove that has simply blown me away with the quality and the value they offer. If you pop them on, I'm pretty sure you're going to be hitting some golf shots that won't look too dissimilar to that. Enjoy the gloves, go check them out. And now it's up to you to sense how much forearm rotation that you need to have to make this club shaft lay down. And for some of you, what you'll end up feeling is how much your forearms don't do anything in a backswing and how much you have to inspire the forearm rotation. Because when you take the weight away from the tip end and you ramp up the weight, because that's effectively what the theraband's doing, it's making the butt end heavier, you then really sense what your forearms need to do as you go back. Now, the shorter you make the theraband, and you can even loop it onto the loop at the bottom here, which makes it even heavier. You can grip it that way. As you take it up to the top, you'll really sense how much forearm rotation, as I say, that you need to make through a transition there. As you start to come through the golf ball, for those of you that have worked on the inside out, you'll really feel how the theraband is trying to lift the handle up and how much you need to push against it. Previously, when the theraband was at this end, it was almost that the theraband was pulling you into that push down with the butt of the golf club. Whereas now you actually have to do it actively yourself. And how much you keep the pressure on that theraband will really inspire those chicken wingers of you out there that really pull your arms in. It will really give you the sense of how much you need to feel the pressure on the butt of the golf club. Now, to get yourself around, remember your leg action is going to have to fortify that function. And if you haven't checked out my leg action videos, you need to go do that, because otherwise you're going to tie yourself up in knots. So with taking that away and going back to a golf club once more, obviously when I'm holding the golf club here, this club is trying to pull itself up. Very, very different to what's going on when the theraband's on. All of a sudden, the theraband is pushing it up. Now I'm having the opportunity to push against something, push against the theraband. And so when I'm pushing against the theraband, it really gives me the sense that I can have my arms sitting more underneath me. Because the head weight was very light, as I start to take the golf club up, now all of a sudden I really get a good sense of how much that golf club head is helping my forearm rotation to allow that golf club to start to shallow out in my change of direction. Then down through strike, the pressure on the theraband that allows me to start to keep my forearms straighter and longer will really be ramped up, because all of a sudden that theraband that I'm pushing against really gives me the opportunity to feel like I stop the club head from drooping. The club head drooping down really opens the face up. And for those of you that have been inside outers, you'll really sense that more than most. The theraband on the butt end of the golf club is every bit as insightful as the theraband on the club head end. And it will really sense what this head weight does for us, what this head weight needs to be embraced with. Because when you take the weight away from the head end and you put it into the butt end, you just understand how much of an influence that this club head must have on us as we move around the golf ball in an effort to hit shots. Something like that. If you've enjoyed that, do consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you next time.